Dear friends, welcome to this week's virtual Drasha. This week we have the incredible privilege of Parashas Eikev. And in this parasha, like many of the parashas in Chumash Devarim, Moshe Rabbeinu uses the opportunity to review the events of the last 40 years, to give Klal Yisrael chizuk, and really using history as a way to give the Klal, as a way to give his beloved flock chizuk, strength for what lies ahead. In Parach Ches, Pasuk Aleph, chapter 8, verse 1, Moshe Rabbeinu says as follows: Kol ha-mitzvah asher anochi mitzadecha hayom. All of the mitzvahs, all of the commandments that I'm commanding you today, because remember again, Moshe Rabbeinu is reviewing all of the mitzvahs, Asar Sadibros, the 10 commandments, all the subsequent mitzvahs that he's given them over the last 40 years. Everything I'm giving you, reviewing with you today, Tishmarun la'asos. Keep it, observe it. Why? L'man tichyun urevisan. Because this way you will live and you will be successful. Ubasem v'yirishtem es haaretz asher nishpa Hashem lavosechem. And then you will come, you will enter the land, you will inherit that land that HaKadosh Baruch Hu promised to your ancestors. So the pasuk is incredibly important for two reasons. Number one, Moshe Rabbeinu telling Klal Yisrael, you have to keep the Torah, you have to keep the mitzvahs, but also telling us that our ability to hold on to the land is fundamentally predicated on our adherence to Torah and mitzvahs. There's a contract between Klal Yisrael and HaKadosh Baruch Hu. And the Rebbe Shalom says, I'm going to give you a lot. I'm going to give you life. I'm going to give you a land. I'm going to give you destiny. But what I ask in return, what I ask for you to commit to me, is to my Torah, is to my mitzvahs. Torah is not simply a list of do's and don'ts. It's not simply assays and los assays, positive commandments and prohibitions. Torah is a relationship contract. And if we want the Ribono Shel Olam, so to speak, to uphold his part of the contract, then we are obligated to uphold ours. And that's what Moshe Rabbeinu says, Kol ha-mitzvah asher anochi mitzadecha hayom. All the mitzvahs that I've given you, tishmarun la'asos. Keep it, observe it, uphold it, live it. And if you do that, Kadosh Baruch Hu will give you every bracha you could possibly imagine. But Rashi HaKadosh quotes a beautiful medrash. Rashi says, Umedrash Haggadah, im ischalta b'mitzvah, Gemar Osa. Torah is teaching us a different lesson. Moshe is teaching Klal Yisrael a different lesson. If you begin a mitzvah, make sure to finish it. Why? She'ina nikreis ha-mitzvah el Hashem ha-gomra. Because who gets credit for the performance of the mitzvah? Not the one who starts it, but the one who finishes it. What's Rashi's raya? What's Rashi's proof? The Medrash's proof for this? Shenemar ves atzmos Yosef asher helu b'nei Yisrael Mitzrayim kavru b'Shechem. In Sefer Yoshua, the Nevi talks about the idea that Klal Yisrael brought the remains of Yosef to Eretz Yisrael, to Canaan, and buried Yosef in Shechem. Now, what's very intriguing about that was, it was not Klal Yisrael, it was not the Jewish people who took the remains of Yosef. The Gemara Masechah Sota says it was Moshe Rabbeinu who took the remains of Yosef. It was Moshe Rabbeinu who took the initiative, while Klal Yisrael was gathering up the gold and the silver as they were commanded to do. Moshe Rabbeinu was gathering up the remains of Yosef. Yet, interestingly enough, in Sefer Yoshua, the book of Joshua, it is the Jewish people who get credit for burying Yosef in Eretz Yisrael and not Moshe. Why? Because Moshe didn't finish the job. Klal Yisrael, Moshe started the job, but he didn't finish it. And from here the Medrash says, what do you see from here? Because Moshe did not finish the job, V'gamro Yisrael, Klal Yisrael finished the job, therefore, Nikreis al Shemam, they are given credit. So Rashi understands, Medrash understands over here, Moshe Rabbeinu was saying like this, Kol ha-mitzvah asher anochi mitzadecha hayom. All of the mitzvah, when you do something, bring it to completion. When you do something, finish the job. Don't just do a mitzvah, don't just start something, Kol ha-mitzvah. Whatever you're going to undertake in life, finish it up. Tishmarun la'asos. Why? Because again, who gets credit for the mitzvah? He or she who brings it to completion. It's very nice to start. But at the end of the day, what HaKadosh Baruch Hu is looking for is a strong finish. Who gets credit for bringing Yosef's remains to burial? Not Moshe Rabbeinu, who took the initiative to find them in Egypt, but Klal Yisrael will actually intern them ultimately in Shechem. It's a fascinating statement, fascinating medrash. The problem is, it seems to go against a Mishnah in Avos. The Mishnah in Avos says, and it's quite a stirring and beautiful Mishnah, Lo alecha hamalacha ligmar. V'ata ben chorli batal mimena. Ultimately, your job is not to finish the job. It's not incumbent upon you to finish the job. But even if you can't finish it, if you don't know you're going to finish it, you're also not allowed to absent yourself from it. The Mishnah explicitly says that in life, what a Kadosh Baruch Hu looks at is effort. Have the courage to start. Have the courage to initiate. Have the courage to begin the journey. You will finish, you won't finish. The Mishnah is almost telling us that sometimes there are circumstances beyond our control. It is not incumbent upon you to finish the job. It is not incumbent upon you to get across the finish line. My moral, sacred, spiritual obligation and duty is to begin the process. Begin the journey. That's my avoda. So which one is it? Is it Kol HaMitzvah? Right, so in Parshas Eikev, Moshe Rabbeinu is telling Klal Yisrael, Kol HaMitzvah, you only get credit for it ultimately if you finish the job. Even though Moshe Rabbeinu took the initiative to find the remains of Yosef, it was Klal Yisrael who finished the job and brought them to burial in Shechem, and therefore they are credited with it. So is it Kol HaMitzvah? Is it ultimately about who finishes it? Or ultimately, again, Lo Alecha HaMalacha Ligmar? Or maybe Pirkei Avos. Pirkei Avos, no, it's not about finishing. It's about starting. Is it Parshas Eikev or is it Pirkei Avos? And of course, again, this machlokes, all of life hangs in the balance. Because how do I gauge success? Is success gauged by having the courage to start? Or is it success gauged by ultimately having the resolve to finish? And perhaps the answer is both. And really what they're talking about are almost like two different stages in life. The Mishnah in Pirkei Avos perhaps is talking about what we'll call the pre-actional stage. Often in life we find ourselves with beautiful opportunities for growth, opportunities for personal advancement, and you could plug this into any area of life. It could be in one's career, it could be in one's relationships, it could be in one's ruchnius, in one's spirituality, whatever it might be. We find beautiful opportunities for personalistic advancement. And what happens when those opportunities come knocking? There's that voice in the back of my head that says, the voice in the back of my neshama that says, you can't do this. You can't, there's no way you're going to bring this initiative to completion. There's no way you're going to be able to sustain it. There's no way you're going to be able to accomplish. No way. And that voice, and Chevra, we all have that voice. And that voice is often so loud and so convincing that I walk away from so many beautiful and incredible life opportunities. I just turn around because I convince myself that I can't cross the finish line. And if you can't cross the finish line, then what is the point of starting the race? The Mishnah in Pirkei Avos is addressing our pre-actional mindset. When offered the opportunity, when presented the opportunity to accomplish something great, there's one hashkafa, there's one mindset. Lo alecha hamalacha ligmar. Don't worry, it's not about finishing. It's not about completion. It's not about the finish line. It's about having the courage to start. The Mishnah in Pirkei Avos is addressing us in the pre-actional stage of life initiatives. In that moment where that voice is yelling at me, stop it. Don't even try. Don't even attempt it. How many things have you started in life and not finished? How many things have you gotten out of the gate and yet you don't get any traction? Stop it. Stop fooling yourself. Stop deluding yourself. Just content yourself with low-lying fruit. And therefore the Mishnah Pirkei Avos whispers in our ear, in the other ear, says, no, don't worry about finishing. Just get started. Just get started. But after we get started, right? After Pirkei Avos gave me the chizik to get started, Moshe Rabbeinu whispers in my other ear. And then once I got started, Moshe Rabbeinu says, Shefala, Tatala, Mamala. It's not enough just to get started. Kol HaMitzvah. You got to bring it to completion. Moshe Rabbeinu speaks to us once we're already in the actional stage. Once we've already started, once we've already initiated, we're doing that. Moshe Rabbeinu says, gives us chizik. Because you know what happens in life? You start something, it has that new initiative life smell, that excitement. And then what happens? Like, it just becomes another thing that I do. And like so many things in life, I just lose interest. I just move on to something else. And so Moshe Rabbeinu whispers in my other ear, Kol HaMitzvah. Success is about finishing. Success is about bringing it to completion. If you started something, don't let it fail. Don't let it just waste away into nothingness because I lack the resolve, to bring it across the finish line. Kol ha-mitzvah asher nochi mitzavecha hayom. As Rashi HaKadosh says, Kol ha-mitzvah im ischalta b'mitzvah gimor osa. If you started it, finish it. It's not as exciting as it once was. Shkoyach. Finish it anyway. But I don't have the same excitement, the same zeal, the same passion. Finish it anyway. If you started it, then you finish it. Im hischalta b'mitzvah. If you started something beautiful in life, bring it to completion. Don't give up. So it turns out that Parashas Eikev and Pirkei Avos are not contradicting each other. That Moshe Rabbeinu and the Tana are really talking to us at two different stages. Pirkei Avos is addressing us in a pre-actional state, when so often we just don't even want to start things because we're afraid that we can't finish it. Pirkei Avos says, don't worry about finishing. Just get started. But once you had the courage to start, Moshe Rabbeinu says, let's go. Let's do this. Let's finish this. Because Moshe Rabbeinu knows what it feels like to start something and not finish. He started taking a people out of Egypt to bring them to Eretz Yisrael, and yet was never able to complete that. Yoshua did it. He brought the remains of Yosef, but wasn't able to intern them, and therefore, Klal Yisrael gets credit for that. Moshe Rabbeinu knows the pain of starting something and not finishing, and therefore Moshe Rabbeinu whispers in our ear once we got started, Kol ha-mitzvah asher anochi mitzavecha hayom tishmerun la'asos. Kol ha-mitzvah. Not a start, not part way. If you're going to start, which you already have, finish it up. Im ischalta b'mitzvah. Gimorosa. Whatever you start in life, ultimately, again, finish it up. This dual message, which combined gives us the very recipe for success in life. When you're staring at new opportunities, don't worry about the finish line. Just worry about getting started. Just give yourself the push, give yourself the chizuk. It's okay if you don't finish. The ikar is to start. But once you start, and once you've sunk your teeth into something, and once you've committed something, then listen to Moshe Rabbeinu whispering in your ear, Im ischalta b'mitzvah gimorosa. Whatever you start in life, find the courage to finish. May we be zochem Yirtzeh Hashem to start, and may we be zochem Yirtzeh Hashem to bring all of our beautiful life initiatives, both begashmios and beruchnios, in Yirtzeh Hashem to beautiful fruition. Wishing everyone a beautiful and uplifting Shabbos Kodesh.